All right, girls, let's talk about some takeaways. How does everyone feel after today's clinic?
Good. Totally different. Got some good results.
Totally different, right?
Results, yeah.
So you see that some of the stuff that we did today made some of those fears that you were having kind of go away a little bit, right?
Yep. Yes.
So give me some feedback. What's some feedback? What did you what in particular? Let's go down the line. What in particular changed for you? What made it better?
I with this technique, I'm getting the ball to within a putting distance that I can get the ball in the hole.
Okay.
I mean,
You're finding more consistency
yes,
too?
I am. Yes. In just knowing where I mean, in the different placements of these holes, just knowing where I had to drop it for my roll to the hole.
Good. How about you, Bart?
That pre-stroke, taking the time and lining it up, and then
The pre-swing, yeah. Pre-swing affecting the in-swing. By not taking the time to line something up, you were finding that it wasn't necessarily you, it was just the shot you chose and where you're lined up that you hit it.
Made a huge difference.
How about you, Eileen?
Same thing. I'd used my 8 before, but I had a different stance and a different stroke, different ball placement. And what you showed me works a lot better for me.
Gives you a little more consistency?
More consistency, and gives me the ability to, like you say, drop it in a certain place depending upon the distance and where I want to put the ball. Yeah, much better result.
Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to simplify it. Where you have 2 clubs, you have 2 options. 2 options leads to that moment of doubt. Did I hit the right club? Did I choose the right shot? Whereas if you have 1 club, then you're able to focus on, okay, I have my 7-iron. Where am I going to land it? Where do I need to land? I know that it's going to roll so far, so picking your landing point changes that. Makes sense? How about you, Susie?
Well, I find that I've never used this. I've always used my pitching wedge, my sand wedge, when it always went up and came down, and you didn't know where it was going to land.
Right. And then it was also a lot harder to basically throw that ball to the hole versus just rolling the ball.
So many times we come up short, and then you're doing a second pitch shot.
One thing I definitely want you girls to remember, and it's like it goes along with that right foot runner kind of mentality, that kind of saying, is I want you to remember this. You always want to putt when you can, chip only when you have to. And then I want you to chip whenever you can and pitch only when you have to. So what to break that down a little bit is just think about the concept. What's easier, rolling the ball or throwing the ball? Obviously rolling the ball is a lot easier. So let's do some takeaways from today. What do we think?
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome.
A little different mind thought, right? The whole thought process of the club path. Didn't realize how important the club path really was in the swing,
I was going to say
right?
the club path
and the position as it makes contact with the ball.
Right, exactly right. So you see why when I started the lesson, I told you the 2 most important things that we're going to focus on today was set up, and path. Because those 2 things go hand in hand, because we want to make sure that we have the same setup every time. We want to make sure that tee is sitting up the appropriate height every single time, but also our stance. Because I think for Eileen, you saw right there real quick and easy how a little bit too far into the middle of the stance the ball was and not really where you thought it was. And that's important too, because as long as I've been playing golf, as long as you've been playing golf, it doesn't matter if it's 20 years or 2 years, those things can go by the wayside. Because again, we get comfortable habits. So we always get comfortable whenever I changed the line. I think for you, Lynn, I put the stick down, all of a sudden it was like, oh wow, look how far to the right I was in. I didn't realize I was that far right. And see, you don't. And that's why using that stick to warm up with, and that's a practice routine that I'm gonna beg you all to use, is you don't have to toe the stick, and you don't have to have the stick right where the ball is, or you can even use your golf club if you want. But have it halfway in between. It's just kind of a guiding reference so you can see where your stance is compared to where that line is. And then that way when you're on the golf course, you're trying to do the same thing. You're trying to visualize an imaginary line there and going, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm square. That's why I said to you when we did chipping, pick that spot that's just in front of the golf ball by about 3 inches, 4 inches. And when you have that spot and you can look at that spot and your golf ball, that technically makes a mini line, does it not?
Yes.
So you can use that. So let's do some takeaways. How was the line drill?
Very good.
Very good.
Excellent.
So what do we think about the overall line drill, circle drill? What are some positive things that you feel like you learned today?
It's a good way to get ready in the morning or whenever you're going to go out. It's quick and it gives you a lot of good information.
Yeah.
So we feel like if we were to walk over to the 18th green right now, or the number 1 green, and start playing around, do we feel like we have a little more confidence?
Yes.
Because remember, 99% of this is confidence. If we want you to leave the putting green saying to yourself, I feel very good about what I'm about to go do. So when you're on that first hole, it doesn't take you 3 holes. Because remember, some of the things we talked about last time about maybe more or less fears of, you know, the first 3 holes. It takes me some time to get adjusted to what the course is doing, what the greens are. You play a lot of different places. You go play in the different golf tournaments, and it's always tough on a new golf course. Whereas, you know, when you do some of these drills like this, you see how the difference is. You kind of get some more feedback and have a little more confidence, so it doesn't take you 3 holes to do that.